Hi, it's Anna here. In this video tutorial, I want to show you how to make this cute, all kind of cabin in the woods inspired Christmas card. And it's card number 3 out of my Yuletide Village online class that I'm sharing for free here on my YouTube channel. So it's mainly focusing on the Yuletide Village stamp set. And for the sentiments, since this one doesn't have any, I've been using the Peaceful Season stamp set. So without further ado, let me show you how to make the card. You don't have to write down any numbers. I listed all the measurements for each of the layers in the video description, as well as the supply list linked to my Stampin' Up! Store if you want to purchase any of the items I'm using in this tutorial to make your own card like this. So I'm going to put that over here. All right, so we're going to start, excuse me, with our sentiment here. This is a label I die cut from Granny Apple Green cardstock with the iconic imagery, oops, that fell out, iconic imagery dies. This coordinates also with a stamp set iconic imagery, and this is an online exclusive, so you won't find it in a catalog, but you can definitely find it in the online store. And it has some really cool Christmas and winter die cuts here, but I especially love the 3 different labels that go with the sentiments in the set, but it also works for a lot of other sentiments, just like this one. So I'm bringing in my stamp here, and as in the previous cards, I'm using gray granite. Excuse me. So I'm going to ink that up. Joy and love to you. And we're going to stamp that on our Granny Apple Green label. Okay, there we go. That looks good. And we're not going to close that stamp pad. So we're going to do some more stamping here. I have a little scrap to stamp this tree. Let's see. Oh, it should fit on here. I hope so. Yeah. So I'm going to stamp that, and we're going to color that here in a minute. And then I have a basic white layer that I want to put on the inside of my card. So I figured I'll just stamp it down here as well, just as a little inside accent. So we're going to color that too, of course. Oh, I have, hold on. Ah, gosh, that was just a little bit okay, that was just lint. I was afraid that I had a little bit of a halo stamp there, but nope, I was lucky. All right, so then we're going to stamp some more trees. Now here I have a label that is punched out from Garden Green cardstock. I'm going to bring in my scrap paper that you've seen in the other videos already, so I'll keep using it. And I punched it out with our heartfelt hexagon punch. I've been using this one a lot. If you don't have it, I highly recommend it. It coordinates with the heartfelt hexagon stamp set, but even if the stamp set is not your cup of tea, then I highly recommend the punch. So what I want to do is I also want to stamp the tree, so a lot of trees, but we're not going to color this one. We're just going to stamp it to create a little bit of a background for our cabin, so it actually looks like it's in the woods. So I'm going to stamp it up here, and I'm using the gray granite, and I'm going to stamp it here to just have a little bit of let's see here, maybe there. Yeah, looks good. So we're not going to color these, so we can put that aside. And now we're bringing in the same label punched out from basic white cardstock, and that's where I'm going to stamp my little house, or, well, it's not a cabin, I guess, since it's not, it could be. If you're very creative and really good with coloring, I guess you could turn this into a cabin. So just want to make sure I have enough ink on there, and we can stamp it a little bit lower. So All right, so that looks good. And I think that's all the stamping we're going to need. If you wanted to, of course, you could stamp this on the inside as well, or on your envelopes. So let's start with our house. I think that's the easiest one to color. So, oh, I didn't even grab my um, my Stampin' blends. So let's do that real quick. So we're going to need, I'm going to use the dark real red. Well, there's no, yeah. So dark real red. I'm going to use light crumb cake. I'm going to use Granny Apple Green, light and dark. So unfortunately we don't have, let me see here. No, that's Lemon Lime Twist. Here we go. We don't have a garden green Stampin' blend. Well, and here's the reason why we don't have all the colors as Stampin' blends is because it's a different kind of ink, and sometimes even though they're different Stampin' Up colors, actually the ink in the markers, they look so similar to another color that Stampin' Up, it's just not feasible to have, you know, them labeled as different colors, but they look so similar actually when coloring on paper that yeah, that would just kind of be redundant. So anyways, that's the reason why we don't have um all the colors. I'm not sure which one actually looks like garden green, but well, I'm not in that decision making process, so that's fine. All right, so I'm just gonna go ahead and color my little bow in red. So that's that. I'm gonna use my crumb cake to color my house. Well, I should say the trim, not the actual house. I really want to keep the coloring on these cards to a minimum so that it is easier to make multiples. If you have to color the whole house, that takes much longer. Well, in the whole, you know, in general, if you do all the, if you make a whole bunch of cards. All right, and then I also did my door and crumb cake. So just going to quiet down for a second. So all right, I think that looks good. Okay, and then I'm going to use the Granny Apple Green, and I think I'm going to go with the darker one. And I'm going to color the shutters. And then there's this upper, I don't know, round, half round trim. So, all right, and that's all we need on our there on our house. Now, here comes the fun part now. Let's go ahead and color our trees. And again, there's no right or wrong really with these. I just note that there's supposed to be some snow covered areas on this tree, but I find it a little bit hard to determine which ones those are. So, well, let's try this one. So, just gonna go over here. So this is our layer for the inside. Okay, I'm gonna make that a snow-covered area. And then maybe that one over there. Like I said, there's no right or wrong really. So let's just color down here. You can make of it whatever you want. All right, so I'm just gonna keep it like that. And then we're gonna do that one more time. Excuse me. On our other tree. Let's take that one as an example now. So I know how to. So I'll be honest with you, I keep forgetting which parts I want to do as snow-covered parts. Although I've colored a whole lot of these trees by now. So, okay, so let's go around here. And here. So, and I'm not even gonna bother coloring again. So if you wanted to add a little bit more texture to these trees, then go ahead and also use the dark granny apple green. So just going to finish that. All right, okay, looks good. Okay, sorry, I just really had to take a sip of water there. All right, so that's on the inside. And now we're bringing in the paper snips. I spared you the fussy cutting on card number 1 and number 2 on this Yuletide Village class, but now we're going to do some fussy cutting. But I have a really cool tip for you, so bear with me and just watch me try and cut this out at a reasonable speed without messing it up too much. Oops, okay. So I'm not even on camera, sorry. All right, and go around the top. It's not really helping to have that reflection. So if you feel like I'm not doing a great job, in my defense, I have all these camera lights on, so it's gonna be, yours is gonna look much better. Okay, so almost done. All right, so that is cutout number 1. Now, what I want to show you is you can do masking, you know, if you wanted to, and have your tree stamped right on here and then color them. But if you actually use the same shape of, you know, for your labels, you could do a circle punch or a circle die. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start cutting around the top of the house so I can layer it on my, where am I cutting? Okay, so I can layer it on my garden green label. So just a little bit more fussy cutting, but not too complicated. I mean, so I'm gonna cut around the snow top here. I'm trying to cut in a way that I don't have too much reflection. So almost done. So so, and this is a way to have some layered stamps and create a scenery without the trouble of you know, using masking paper, because then you still have to fussy cut and all that to do the masking technique to mask stuff off and stamp over it to have them actually layered in the background. I hope all of that was in focus. So anyways, let's get these out of the way. And now we're ready to assemble. So I'm going to put some adhesive here on my house, on my cabin. Oh, I see the red end there, so we're getting close. Now I'm just going to layer this on my garden green. So you can push it in the right spot, and there you go. And now you have you know, your little label. It still has that shape. I mean, I'm covering some of it up on my card here, but still, I think it's a cute way to have some texture in the background. And now we can go ahead. That's why I didn't even bother coloring the windows, because we're going to put that up on dimensionals. Let's see, let's use the small ones. 1, 2, 3 on our little Christmas tree. So 1, 2, 3. Oh, so I'm mainly covering up my window there. And let's see, like this. Yep, that's cute. So that is that, and then we'll put our label on there in a minute. So now let's put all of our pieces together. So I have a garden green card base, 5.5 by 8.5, score and folded at 4 1/4. And since this is just on the inside, we don't need a whole lot of adhesive. Well, maybe one there. So our basic white was 4 by 5 1/4, because it's very tricky to write on the dark cardstock, right, on the garden green. So that is going to be on the inside, and of course you can also do that on your envelope. And then on the front, I have the Take a Bow designer series paper. So on one side, and there's 3 colors in it: real red, granny apple green, and garden green. So it actually coordinates with a lot of Christmassy ribbons and embellishments. This is the back side. So I'm going to glue that down onto some basic beige. I really liked using basic beige in this color combination, just to have a little bit of you know, a neutral back color there, but also because we're going to use some basic beige ribbon. Oh, I might have to take another sip of water. My voice is really not back all the way. So, okay. So, and on my, whoops, oh gosh. I just bumped the camera. Well, the camera arm. So I hope it's still, sorry about that. All right. So on my sample card, I used this pattern. But I thought, well, let's try another one. These kind of candy cane stripes, I guess. So I'm bringing in some, like I said, some basic beige ribbon here. So I'm going to put some adhesive here on the back. I'm not sure how high low I want to go. There. Yeah, I think there's good. So just going to wrap that around. Okay, so, and now I can add a little bit more adhesive if it's going to coordinate. Whoops. So let's do a long end there. And we're going to glue that down on our card base, making sure it's the right way up. Don't accidentally want to glue that on my backside. Okay, so I think that looks so cute with the basic beige and then the fun Christmas colors. So, all right, now we're going to glue down. I don't even, yeah, okay, of course I use dimensionals. Why am I even second guessing myself? So 1, 2, 3, 4 dimensionals on each side. Oh, but before I glue that down, so I thought for a fun little detail, instead of putting a basic beige bow, it looked kind of like too much. So I'm going to sneak in some real red and white baker's twine. And I'm going to tie a bow here. So I have no trouble tying bows when it's still attached to the main bolt of ribbon, but it's so different when you do it with twine. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. All right, so A little bit there and all around. And then my bow always wants to go the other way. So we'll just go with the flow, whichever way that is for this twine wanting to go before I pull. Oh gosh, which way? All right, so I think we got it. I want it a little bit tighter, but okay. It should still hold. Okay, now I'm fussing around too much with this. Okay, there we go. We'll leave it at that. So snap that off. Snap that off. So now we have just a cute little detail there on our card. So now let's put down our label. Our little house. Somewhat in the middle. That looks straight. Okay, so there we go. And then we're going to tuck our label under here if I can. Oh, okay. I probably should have put it a little bit further, but that's okay. We'll make it work regardless. So now since I popped that up on dimensionals, I'm gonna have to do one here too. So, oh, and I just noticed there's a little bit, it didn't die cut right. So give me 1 second. We'll just stamp it a second time real quick. If we're doing it right. So joy and love to you. That's why I like to have an extra label. Okay, looking good. Okay, now we can put our dimensional on this side, and I will put just a little bit of adhesive just so it kind of stays in place. Doesn't need to be a whole lot. So just a little bit. And now we're going to tuck that under our tree. So let's see. Now I'm going to cover that up. So, and we're down. Oops. You see it's still moving a little bit, but all right. And there we go. There is my original card. And here it is with a different designer series paper in the back. Leave me a comment on which designer series paper you think you prefer. Actually, I don't want to say it looks better, but because I think they're both cute. But if you like more the lighter one or the bolder choice here with the stripes, yeah, definitely leave me a comment. And yeah, that's the tutorial for today. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know by hitting the like button. If you want to see more quick and easy cards, and especially don't want to miss out on card number 4 in my Yuletide Village free online class, then make sure to subscribe to my channel so you get notified of new tutorials. In the meantime, you can check out card number 2 right here on my channel, and from there you can also hop on over to card number 1, and I see you in the next video.